is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. Listen to other great tech podcasts at www.techpodcasts.com.
This is Techwebcast.
Computers. Gadgets.
Another geeky stuff.
It's awesome.
And it's from the future.
Follow us at twitter.com/techwebcast
And
on Facebook and check techwebcast.info for info. Techwebcast.
Turn on, tune in, drop on.
Welcome to episode 274 of the Techwebcast podcast, recorded on the 1st of February 2014. Techwebcast is recorded every Sunday and rebroadcast on Aussie Tech Heads on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Please rate us on iTunes and like us on Facebook.com/TechWebcast. Your hosts today are Brad, Steve, Jen, Jacob, Hannah, and Gadget Girl.
Steve, how are you, buddy?
Doing pretty good.
I need to pull you up about that. You said the wrong day. It's actually Saturday.
Oh, did I?
It's not Sunday, mate. That's all good.
Oops.
All right. Who do we have on today? Jennifer, you want to read some names out?
Hi, yeah. So our guest today, well, we have a wonderful guest, Mr. Keith Teare is with us.
Yes, we do. Yep.
And Gadget Girl's with us as well.
Yes. Well, have you on?
Yep. And Hannah Silver.
Hello.
And
Hello, Hannah.
hello. And we have Mr. Jacob Jones and Steve and you, Brad, and myself.
And
we are missing two people, though.
we are indeed, and it's actually Jodie's birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday, Jody.
Yes.
Yay!
With a Y.
Jody with a Y.
Yes, that's correct. And also, Andrew's not here. He's out doing other things.
Mm-hmm.
Is he buying a house?
I think he's looking at baby stuff.
Congratulations to Andrew Cunningham.
Yeah.
He is having a baby.
Yes.
And
And
his wife's
And buying a house.
He's having a baby.
He's having a baby and his wife's buying a house.
And, welcome, Keith. How are you, mate? Good to have you on.
I'm good. Nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
And also we got Hannah on. Hello, Hannah.
Hello, how's it going?
Good. You just woken up or something? Or?
I've just woken up. Don't judge me. It's only 1 o'clock.
It's all good. Steve, how are you, mate? Welcome.
Doing pretty good. I don't know, nothing really going on over here. It's been pretty quiet.
All right. Good stuff. We got video today too from Keith and
Yeah, we got video for Keith coming up.
Yep, good stuff. Jacob Jones, hello.
Hello, Brad. How are you today, sir?
I'm very well, thanks. And you're looking into getting a mixer and some other new things.
Yes, I am.
Well, tell Steve about it.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Like I'm wanting to get upgrades so I can do podcasting. Like if Brad dramatically drops out, like if for instance, like if his internet goes out or his power goes out.
Yeah, there's a lot of buzzing on the line. Yeah, that's correct. Yes. Yeah. So Jay, you're looking into getting a Behringer mixer, right?
Yes.
Okay, good stuff. And another microphone.
Yes, sir.
Good stuff. All right. We can't wait to hear from you when you get that.
We might still be able to talk about later on.
Sure. Let's talk to Hannah for a minute. We've got some news coming up very shortly, Jennifer. Is that correct?
We do have some news coming up.
Can't wait to talk about that. Hannah, where have you been for the past month?
So a couple of days ago, just got back from a trip. We went to the States and Israel and Tokyo.
Wow.
And had an amazing time. Lucky us.
Yes, indeed. So what was it like flying over there and stuff? And
We took a 14-hour direct flight from Melbourne to LA, which means two things. One, it means you're flying back in time. Because we left, I think, on a Friday at 11:30 in the morning, and we landed in LA on Friday at 7:30 in the morning.
Yes.
So we actually flew back in time. Plus, it means that day literally turns into night. So the first day, we actually went out to Venice Beach. And when my body thought that it should be nighttime, I was sitting in the beach on the sunshine. And I cannot describe to you how wrong it felt to be sitting in the sunshine in the middle of the night. I felt like an alien.
Wow.
So, yeah, that was the flight over to the States. And then we were in LA for 2 nights and then Dallas for 2 nights visiting my auntie. And then we did New York for 10 nights, just in time to be caught inside the polar vortex, which was crazy, cold, freezing, just insane.
I got a question.
Go ahead, Jacob.
Did you, I know they have them all over. I'm not sure if they have them in New York, but have you tried the In-N-Out burger?
You know what? So we were in LA. We were actually staying just down the street from an In-N-Out burger. And on our last night, we were going to go there for dinner. In the meantime, we met somebody and he's like, "No, man, don't go to In-N-Out burger. Go to Fat Burger. They've got better burgers there." So we actually ate at Fat Burger. And then I told a friend who lives in LA that we ate at Fat Burger, and he replied saying, "Are you sure you ate at Fat Burger? Are you sure you didn't eat it In-N-Out?" I was like, "Nah, we ditched In-N-Out for Fat Burger."
I gotta say something, you guys. It's Gash Girl.
Go ahead.
I saw Danny Thomas, the night he died, I saw him at Fat Burger. So like he had a Fat Burger and then he died.
Wow.
So yeah.
Probably what did it.
Yep.
Exactly.
Hey, it was probably very good.
Oh yeah. What a good way to go out.
Interesting. And the food was nice, Anna. What else did you have there besides hamburgers?
What else did we eat? Oh my God, the burgers are actually what I remember the most because there were some really great ones. The best burger I think we had was in New York in the Rockefeller Center. I can't remember the name of the place now. Of course, that's very handy. But everywhere that we ate was really tasty. When we were in Dallas with my auntie's family, on the second night, they took us out for some typical Texan dining to this place that looked like a wood lodge, and there was like heads of animals stuck up all around the place, and you heard people talking with southern accents, and we ate Mexican food, and they made the guacamole in front of us at our table, and they stuffed up a bit of our order. So they're like, "I'm very sorry, sir. I'll take off $20 off your order," and which is like crazy customer service that we just don't get in Australia.
No, we don't.
Yeah, and so that was a great Mexican meal as well.
And how did you handle the money and stuff when you changed it over in that to US and that?
Oh yeah, money was fine. I won't talk about that.
Okay. Steve, any questions?
Actually, yeah, one. I'm kind of wondering why. I live in Texas, so you didn't see me. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, you know what? There was a bunch of people that I didn't see. We had 2 nights, and that was it in Dallas. And with my auntie and her family, who I hadn't seen in quite a number of years. So it was just like there was a lot. We were just talking nonstop, and there was no time to talk to anybody else except for my family. So I'm sorry we didn't get to see each other.
Oh,
no,
okay.
I'll tell you one more funny thing that happened in Dallas. So Dallas has one tram line, or if you like, a trolley, and I think they might have a few different trolleys that go on this line, but you get on it for free, and it's a tourist attraction. It's not really to get around the city. It bumbles along pretty slowly. So we were out in the city with my auntie and my cousins, and they're like, "Hey, let's go on the Dallas trolley." So we finally get there, and we get on the trolley, and it's a tram that they brought over from Melbourne. So there we were in Dallas riding a Melbourne tram. Of course, I come from Melbourne and I ride Melbourne trams all the time. And this was an old school sort of tram from I think it was from pre-80s, like it would have been decommissioned. I forgot now when it was decommissioned, around about 1980. But when I was at school, they were still running trams, that style. So I was taking trams just like that one, but slightly newer to get to school. So, yeah, it was pretty funny to be in Dallas and ride a Melbourne tram.
Oh, that's unbelievable.
Oh, we should actually mention Creepy Doll real quick.
Yeah.
That is so cool, Hannah. Keith Teare, do you have any questions?
Wrong.
Keith Teare, do you have any questions?
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, my mic was turned off.
You're right, man.
Yeah.
Questions for Hannah?
No, I don't have any questions.
Okay. All right.
I'm envious.
Have you got any plans coming to Australia, Keith, at all? Or
I don't have any current plans, but my partner in Just On Me lives there in Melbourne.
Yeah,
So he's just been here.
Okay.
So we get to see each other a lot, and I've booked flights to Australia twice and ended up not coming on both occasions. So I got to do that.
Yeah, please do. You have to. Yeah, we'll catch up. Yeah, he was on last week actually talking about your up and stuff and that sort of thing.
Oh, was he? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Could people understand his Russian?
He can. Yes, he has good accent.
I have one more question for Hannah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
How did you cope with the cold air when you went around?
It was difficult to cope with the cold air. In Melbourne, we complain about our winters. We think that it's pretty miserable down here where it gets to like 12 degrees Celsius or 10 degrees. So when we were caught in temperatures between -6 degrees Celsius and -14, it was like the feeling actually felt like when I went outside and I was wearing 5 layers of clothing on my top plus a feather coat, I would go outside and it would feel like there was this giant hand coming down from the heavens and pushing me down into the ground and saying, you should not feel good and comfortable. It was a very strange and foreign feeling, and I hope to never feel it ever again.
You shall not have.
Yeah, it was crazy. And we got caught in a blizzard, the one that happened just a few days after New Year's, and it was, it was crazy. It was wonderful to see snow. We don't get to see snow in Melbourne ever. So it was really wonderful to be in snow. But yeah, to just be outside was painful, despite wearing so many clothes.
Did you make
snowballs?
Did you make any snowmans or throw any snowballs?
Didn't make any snowmen, but I did throw a few snowballs at my boyfriend when he wasn't looking.
What did he say?
Much to my amusement. He just took it.
Just be careful you don't have the guy from Elf. He'll have an automatic on you.
Okay. Jennifer, do you have any questions before we go to the news?
I would like to know how your trip to Japan was.
Yeah, so we had a week in Tokyo, and we only got to see we only went to about 3 or 4 different areas in Tokyo. Of course, Tokyo is massive. It has a population of 35 million, I think, something like that. I better put a disclaimer on. I know someone can check Wikipedia for me later. Whatever it is huge. That is huge when you compare it to Australia, which has about 20 million in the entire country. So for Tokyo, there's because there's so many people, there's things happening all the time. One of the things I liked was there were these trucks that would drive around in the street, huge billboard trucks, and they'd sell, for example, they'd be advertising bands, and they'd have the music of the new album playing from the truck. while this huge billboard drove past with a picture of the band.
Oh, that's clever.
So I was really pleased to see that there is a active and functioning music industry in Tokyo, which is very different in Australia, where it's very difficult to make money off music. And what else about Tokyo? Everything is cute. The people are so nice. You just as people walking down the street, and you can just sense it off them that the Japanese people, they're just so warm and lovely, such lovely people.
Opposite of your trip to New York, I'm sure. That's
Well, no, actually, I have to say that we loved the people in New York as well. Okay. We were staying on the Upper West Side. We unfortunately only got into Brooklyn one time. We went around Manhattan looking at stuff. But no, we loved the people in New York. And actually, it's very, very rare for me to ever go to another place in the world. And I'm lucky now that I've been to a few different places, a few different countries. And normally I visit and I think, well, this is nice. But I'm going to be glad to go home to Melbourne. New York was probably the first place in my whole life where I thought, yeah, I could live here.
Wow.
Interesting. Okay, Diane, do you have a question?
Yeah, not that I'm too obsessed with death, but I was wondering about Japan and, the whole nuclear meltdown, because we don't hear, there's some underground news, quote, news places where you hear about it all the time, but on the mainstream news here, we don't hear anything about the nuclear reactors. And there's literally people on the West Coast with Geiger counters freaking out because all that stuff is coming over to America. So did you get any kind of sense of the Japanese freaking out about their food or the air quality, anything to do with the nuclear reactyoreactors?
Sure.
Did anybody talk about that?
Yeah, well, so we were only in Tokyo, and on Sunday we went to Yoyogi Park, and stuff is always going on in that park on Sundays. And so we did actually come across a protest, protesting against nuclear, and I can't remember what else. But it was a pretty small protest. I know they went marching along the street and then ended up in the park, and there was only, maybe it was 100 people. So that's pretty small when you're in a city of 35 million. That was the only thing that I saw. But we were hanging out with a friend of ours who lives there, and he was telling us that, yes, there definitely is a movement of people who are anti-nuclear. But the problem that Japan has is basically nuclear at the moment is its only source of energy. If they're not to use nuclear for their energy, then they're going to have to import like coal or whatever from other countries, which is going to be a whole lot more expensive. So they are in a quandary about their nuclear uses.
And were you there during the dolphin deal? When they were doing the dolphins?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay.
All right. Okay, Jennifer, let's jump into the news, then we'll come back to Hannah, and then Keith, and talk about more about this.
Okay.
Stuff.
All right, let's jump in the news. Now, let me ask you, Brad, do you want to go through all the news stories at once, or would you like for us to pause at the end?
Let's do the first option you said.
Okay, so we'll run through all the stories. So the first story is coming from Mac Rumors and is about SwiftKey Note. So, we were talking about the story last week. Well, a little bit more has developed on it. SwiftKey Note is indeed real, and it launched this past Thursday on January 30th as a note-taking app that optionally integrates with Evernote's popular suite of apps. So the app offers several new features that allows for faster and easier note-taking, including automatic word suggestions based on context and personalized auto-correction. And SwiftKey's suggestion and autocorrect features learn from over time based on people's previous text entries and their behavior within the app. So it's very, in my opinion, this is great. I guess we're not stopping after each story, but I just want to say I'm happy that SwiftKey is partnered up with Evernote, and they're bringing it to create an app called SwiftKey Note and to bring it to iOS. So if you haven't checked it out yet, be certain to check that out. And moving right along, another story from Mac Rumors. This is about Red Bull TV and the Apple TV. So Apple, on this past Tuesday, has expanded its lineup to include the Red Bull TV channel on its Apple TV set-top box. So, kind of like, I guess, what was in the past 6 months or so, they've added quite a few channels. And now this is their latest addition to their channel lineup. And this is kind of like a sports station. They have kind of those extreme sports is what they offer. And then they also have a lot of Red Bull branding. There's also an iOS app available for Red Bull TV that's been out for a few years. So definitely check that out. Fun sports to watch there. So if you like the X Games kind of stuff, you'll like Red Bull TV. And the next story is coming from Engadget. It is about my cable provider, Mr. Time Warner Cable. Yes, I call him for some reason. I don't know why. But Time Warner Cable is to improve network in New York City and LA and promises faster internet and more reliability and better service. They're calling it TWC Max with 2 X's, and the extra X is supposed to mean it's better. Well, at least that's what they want us to think. The plan is to deliver 3 times faster internet speeds for every customer, except those that are on the everyday low price tier, and those guys should also see an increase in speed as well. So Time Warner is going to upgrade its network hubs in those cities, and it's going to retire its analog channels in LA in favor of digital offerings. They already did that in New York City, and they're doing this in order to increase more bandwidth, free up bandwidth for more customers in Southern California. The telco will also continue its expansion of its free Wi-Fi networks that business customers and folks on standard or better plans are using. And folks will also have the option to schedule same-day appointments when they're having problems, which is outstanding. Also, they're saying that they're going to bring some more on-demand content as well, and they're going to also launch a new set-top box with 6 tuners and increased storage capacity later in 2014. Next story coming from Engadget. It is called Make Evernote Your Own with this latest iOS update. So in this story, they're actually showing an image of 3 different iOS devices, and each one is running Evernote, and each one looks completely different. One is green, one is white, the other one is black. And so what they're doing here is they're illustrating that now you can make Evernote your own by customizing with color themes and also customizing how it syncs up. So definitely want to take a look at the new updates in Evernote if you're an Evernote user. And if you're not, check it out. I think it's something that you should give a shot. Okay, moving on along to Business Insider's latest story about the Tonight Show. Oh, you know what? That was a story that I already had up because I thought was interesting. Never mind. That's not in our news lineup. It was about the Tonight Show laying off its entire staff. That's not tech news. I'm sorry about that.
Wow.
I had it in my open tabs.
Wait, tell us more about that, Jennifer. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, that sounds horrible. What's going on? Yeah.
I just closed the tab. Let me see here. So, okay. So according to Business Insider, the entire Tonight Show has been laid off as Jimmy Fallon moves his show from Burbank to New York City. So, NBC Universal plans to lay off the entire Tonight Show staff, all 164 Burbank employees, when the late night show moves from California to New York next month. And that's what that story is about. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's sad. I guess, though, if they're picking up a whole show and moving it across the country, maybe they gave an option for some of them to go and they didn't want to move, or I don't know.
Yeah, but Jimmy's writers are way better than Jay's. I mean, Jimmy's got his whole set of guys that, he's not going to use Jay's people.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. You're right. He's going to want his team, right? So.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So that makes sense. So the new show is going to, the Jay Leno is set to depart the Tonight Show on February 6th. And his final guest is going to be Billy Crystal, who was also his first ever guest on the LA-based program 22 years ago. And Fallon will take over the spot on February 17th. And all of his guests, actually his first guest will be Will Smith and U2. Wow. Big names. That should be a good show.
Did they say they're going to move the whole set, or are they going to use the Jay Leno set?
I think they were going to do the whole set. I mean, if they're picking up and moving, they didn't say anything about the set, but I would think that they changed the setup. So we'll see.
They'll probably have a new set.
Jimmy is already in New York, so he's not going. He's just staying in New York.
He's staying in New York. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, his show is in New York, so he's not going anywhere. Jay is just leaving from LA. That's all that's happening. Yeah.
Well, yeah, maybe. I'm not ready to yet. I still want to live some more life in Melbourne. But yeah, maybe in a few years' time, I might find myself in New York. Who knows?
All right.
Let's do a house swap, and I'll move to Melbourne, and you move out here. Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
I thought you were going to say wife swap or something. There's a show like that.
Yeah, house swap.
Let's not go there, Steve.
You think a wife swap?
Come on, Steve. Let's not go there, mate. Okay, Jennifer, what's the next story?
Next story is coming from Business Insider. Microsoft to name Satya Nadella as CEO and may remove Bill Gates as chairman. So they have chosen their next CEO, and this is according to Bloomberg. And they're saying it will be Satya Nadella, and he's an executive vice president at the company right now. Nadella is in charge of Microsoft's lucrative cloud and enterprise group. And so the news actually backs up an earlier report coming from Kara Swisher that Microsoft will pick up Nadella as its CEO. She seems to uncover those leads early. She always gets all the good gossip. So that was confirmed now. So Nadella has been with Microsoft for 20 years, and his name has been constantly floated around as one of the top internal candidates for the CEO job. All right, moving right along about Amazon. This is coming from The Verge. Amazon is considering a $20 to $40 price hike for Prime service in the United States. And Amazon said that it is considering raising the price of its $79 per year Prime service to customers in the States by another $20 or $40. And the possible increase, which hasn't been finalized, was announced during the company's fourth quarter earnings call. And they're saying this is due to the higher cost of shipping goods. So Prime service was launched. Sure, I'll pause.
I'm sorry. Yeah, can I just tell you something really quick? Because I just had something shipped from Amazon, this Chromebook. And what really ticked me off is that it was their Prime shipping. So they start with FedEx, and then they handed it off to the United States Post Office.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you wanted to use the United States Post Office, you would have, right? But you don't know that. I mean, the last, leg or so, they handed it off to the Post Office. I don't know.
I see that all the time. I just got a Chromebook this week too. Go all right.
Oh, cool. Okay, good.
But yeah, I see that all the time too, where they'll start with FedEx and it comes over USPS. It ends up in, yeah.
All right. Mm-hmm. Next story, Jennifer. Let's go to this next one.
Okay. Next story is about. Here we go. It is about Paper. Not the paper you write on, but Paper the app. And a new Paper the app. I think there's a plethora of paper apps out there, but this is a new one coming from Facebook, and the story is from The Verge. With Paper, Facebook just blew its own iPhone app out of the water. Facebook announced a new standalone iPhone app called Paper. And it is more than just a news reading app. It's a complete re-imaging of Facebook itself. So once you've used it, you might not even want to use your standard Facebook app again. It may not replicate every feature of Facebook's main app, but it does fulfill the majority of people's needs. It looks a lot better than what they currently have. So Facebook has taken the standard Facebook news feed, putting it in Paper, and it is an immersive horizontally scrolling set of screens, and it's a new way that you can post to Facebook. And it's also is a news reading app. So it looks kind of similar to Flipboard, so that it will be available on iOS only for the iPhone on February 3rd. And currently it is ad-free. Yay. And the last story is coming from CNET about Apple being the biggest loser in the Google, Motorola, Lenovo deal. And so they're saying things are about to get tougher for Apple. Last Wednesday, Google made the unexpected announcement that it's selling its Motorola Mobility to Chinese PC giant Lenovo for $2.91 billion, which is less than a quarter of what it paid for the handset vendor just a few years ago. Of course, they kept the patents. During the years Google owned it, Motorola lost money and market share, and the relationship caused tension between Google and the Android vendors, particularly Samsung. And it also led other cell phone makers to develop their own software and services rather than push those from Google, which amplifies Android's fragmentation in the market. So overall, Google's purchase of Motorola turned out much better for the iPhone maker, Apple, than Google. And now that's going to change. Google, without Motorola, can go back to focusing on what it does best. That's making a great operating system and apps. It will mend its relationship with Android leader Samsung and the other vendors, and it can concentrate on unifying and streamlining the Android experience rather than worry about bolstering its own hardware operations. And all of those factors mean that Apple may not be able to win over customers as easily as it has in the past. Great. And that is it for the news stories.
Yeah, great stories, Jennifer. Good on you for reading them.
Oh, well, good job picking them out there.
I added a few, and I added the most in. So the Apple TV
added through 5.
The Apple TV one is pretty good. Have you used that app yet, Jennifer? The Red Bull one.
The Red Bull TV app, I haven't. I've played around with the Red Bull channel before on the Roku, but I have not played with it on the Apple TV yet. It's fun to watch. It's kind of like X Games type stuff. Yeah.
There's anything on there you want to watch, if you're into that sort of stuff. But yeah, I love it.
I love the flute talk.
The what?
The one they do their flute talks where people have to build contraptions to see how far they can fly over the water.
What's that got to do with Red Bull?
Like the Birdman rally.
That's not on Red Bull, is it? I haven't seen that on.
Yeah, the flute talk is part of Red Bull.
Oh, okay. I'll check it out. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good because you might see someone coming in a cow suit or something like that.
So if I look right now, 25% of the people on chance right now are from Russia.
Wow.
And that's because a Russian blog reviewed the new version. And so we've got this like Google map all lit up. It's basically USA number 1, Spain number 2, Russia number 3. Chance for us is a bit of an experiment. It is not, Chance isn't meant to be a definitive product. It's actually meant to be an experiment in anonymous private conversations to see whether it's possible to build a world in which horny guys don't scare away nice women. Because most of the anonymous private chat apps, that's what happens. You get these gross guys who hit on women in the most ridiculous way, and then the women just say, screw it, I don't want to use this app anymore, it's full of idiots. So we tried to build an app where you really can meet strangers, like in the old days when you used to get pen pals. And if a bad guy comes along, you can just block him. And if he gets blocked 3 times, he's blocked for the day. And if he gets blocked 3 days in a row, he's blocked for life. And it creates this kind of possibility of the community organizing itself to make the app allow nice people to meet other nice people. That's basically the idea. And it's
so how do you know? How do you know if it's a nice person or not?
You have to react to what they do.
True.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Because we've seen a similar thing with, for those of us who have been on Google Plus using Hangouts over the last 2 years plus, where it started, where it was strangers meeting strangers and making new friends and having a lovely time. Meanwhile, also just having the occasional sexual predator who you'd have to block. I have 2 questions for you. One, how are you going to deal with people getting blocked and then just creating a new profile and getting back on? And second thing, how are you going to deal with people who get blocked, not because they deserve to be blocked, but because someone has a personal vendetta and goes, stuff you, I'm blocking you because I don't like you. And then they get blocked out of their account and they don't deserve it.
Yeah, that does happen. So the first one, we don't have any profiles on Chance, interestingly enough. We use a special signature that we put onto the phone. So you don't actually have an account. It's your phone or your device that's blocked, actually, not you. So you'd have to change your device to be unblocked. And if you behave badly again, there's only so many devices somebody can have. However, we did think about something, which is, people who behave badly, they're only bad because they do it to people who don't want to see it. There are other people who might want to see it.
Yeah.
So what we thought is, instead of blocking them from the app, what we might do is create a new place in the app called Hell or Purgatory, or maybe Purgatory. And people will get sent there. And if they're there, they can talk to other people who are also there, but not to anyone who isn't there.
Mm-hmm.
And that would allow, because we don't want to censor even explicit sexual behavior is okay if it's consensual. So we don't want to be a censor, but we don't want to empower people to abuse other people. So that's that. The other thing is we're trying to develop an algorithm that weights the block. So depending on who blocks you, we will take it more or less seriously based on their behavior over a period of time.
Wow.
And if we can do that, that will mean that blocks will be weighted. So if I block someone, it might count for more weight than if, somebody who blocks nice people in retaliation for them not wanting to see their body does it.
Yeah, right. Okay, cool. That's really interesting.
Can I slide in just really quick and tell you guys something about Seesaw? I don't know if anybody here remembers Seesaw, but it was in the late 90s. I reviewed this thing. It was video chat, and you could have up to 10 screens on at the same time, simultaneously. And at first, when I heard about it, I thought, oh, this is going to be so altruistic. I was thinking, oh, maybe medical, needs, people in remote areas, right? So I go in to interview it. I swear to you, 9 out of 10 of these screens were guys wanking with wedding rings. I couldn't believe it. It was amazing. You give people technology, and what are they doing? It's wow.
Well, and if you go and if you go to Vine or Instagram and the right keywords to search for, it's full of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And some people actually think that the primary reason various apps work is because they figure out a way for that stuff to live without it affecting everyone.
Right. I think Chat Roulette tried to do it, didn't they? Like they tried to have a diversion where when you go to the website and you can choose, do you want to go to the sexy part or do you want to go to the non-sexy part? But I don't know how to. I think by the time they implemented that, it was too late, and everyone already was thinking of Chat Roulette as guys wanking, and I think it was too late.
Yep.
Okay.
Weirdly enough, there's a lot of girls that do stuff as well, and you kind of wonder why they do it, but
why? Are you saying that girls can't enjoy sex?
No. I think girls can enjoy sex. My whole life proves that girls can enjoy sex. Trust me. But having said that, they don't usually do it in public for strangers. And I'm assuming that girls are a bit deeper than just the physical pleasure. And whereas men sometimes... I don't think
you should make any assumptions at all.
Okay, Steve.
Tell us more. I want to hear more about that.
Steve, let's move on.
Talk offline.
Let's move on. Steve, any questions?
Yeah, noting that before you said you didn't want to get rid of the people who, that may act up. You don't want to like ban them or anything, but and then you like put them in hell. Possible maybe you can get they can talk to other people in hell. I don't know if you can add that in there.
Yeah. That's exactly the idea. That is the idea.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
But the truth is, the reason we built Chance actually is nothing to do with the app Chance. It's to do with the back-end features that we had to build to support anonymous private chats. The next app we're going to do is going to support anonymous public posts. And what we're actually doing is building the back end to a solution that isn't any of these apps. These apps are just proofs of concept for what we'll end up doing. And I can't really tell you what we'll end up doing because I'm going to go and copy it, so I won't tell you. But
I can't wait, Keith, for this new app to come out. At the beginning of the show, you told us about that new thing you're working on, but you can't say anything.
And I'll give you one hint. It isn't an app.
Okay, it's not an app. Okay, interesting.
I'm really. I know. I cannot wait to hear about this later.
Can't wait. Keith, tell us about the show that you're on each week, the Gilmore Gang.
It's run by Steve Gilmore. Steve is Silicon Valley royalty. He's been a journalist. He's been an analyst. He's a thought leader. He's really a futurist in many ways, although he wouldn't ever call himself that. And he has a bunch of people that, in a very conversational style, talk every week about whatever it is that's preoccupying him or Silicon Valley in general.
No.
And different people every week with a core that tends to be the same. I'm not on every week, but I'm on often. Danny Sullivan is on. He's the guy that does Search Engine Watch and all the conferences that cover Google and SEO and all that stuff. He's often on. John Tashak, who is a Salesforce.com strategy guy. He runs strategy for Salesforce.com. Kevin Marks, who also works at Salesforce.com and used to be at Google, is on often. Dan Farber, who is the head of CBS Digital News and CNET, is often on. So, it's a nice revolving group of people. John Borthwick, who runs the BetaWorks incubator in New York, is on sometimes as well. So it's basically the intention is not to have a big audience, but to have an audience of connectors and decision makers and thinkers who aren't really talking about what happened, but more what is going to happen.
Good stuff. And also he got a new setup or something, didn't he? A new software and that.
New Tech gave him a TriCaster 860, which is not the top of the range. It's the one just below the top of the range.
Yep.
But it means he's moved from standard definition to high definition, from 3 cameras to about 6 in the studio, and it's starting to get a bit more professional.
Maybe that's what you need, Steve, in your studio, mate.
I think 2 is enough for me. I mean, I guess I could do an overhead, straight, up shot, and then underneath or something. I don't know. It'd be a little bit too much for me. I got 2, and
HD is good.
No, we were just talking about underneath shots not being appropriate, so we don't want any of those.
I mean,
no, that.
Not quite that far, but.
Jacob, do you have any more questions for Keith? Because I know every time you come on here and you keep saying to me, forget.
Do you guys have you used Chance? Do you meet mainly?
Yeah, I've used it a couple of times, and I met a few people there. They seem pretty nice, but then I'll just close the app. But yeah, Jacob, have you used it?
Yes, but it's still on my iPad. But I just needed the algorithm to get stronger and stronger and stronger. Like if I wanted to just talk to tech people.
Is there an iPad version coming, Keith, for your apps at all?
Actually, it does work on the iPad. It's pretty primitive. We didn't design it for the iPad, but we did do a special iPad screen so that it could be a universal app. And it's the next phase of that is to let you remember people. It's like, if you go to a bar and if you like someone, you exchange phone numbers. Well, in Chance, you can't do that. There's no way to save someone to to a list and reconnect with them. And that is initially on purpose. So the next thing we'll do is make it so you can do that. And that's going to go alongside something that you just said you want. We're going to let people say what they want to talk about. And then you'll choose who you want to talk to from all the people available based on what they want to talk about.
Yeah, that'd be good. That's a good idea. That'd be fun. Yeah, Hannah, have you got the app yet, or you're not going to use it?
I don't have the app yet, but I think I might get it. Sounds like fun.
It does. It sounds fantastic. Yeah. Yeah, Hannah, tell us more about where you went and stuff.
Well, so far I haven't talked yet about Israel. I spent a week or so in Israel, and one of the things we did was we went down to the Dead Sea. Do you guys know about what it's like down there?
Was that the one where you had mud on your face?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we just
I've been there on the Jordan side.
Ah, yeah, cool. So we just went to a public beach, and you have to pay an entry fee, and then the Dead Sea is at the lowest point in the world. I can't remember how many meters below sea level it is, but it's the lowest in the whole world. And as a result, there's like no UV there at all. So you can just hang out in the sunshine for a few hours and like not even get a tan. So when we were there, it was warm. It was 25 degrees Celsius. And basically, because of the salt content in the water, you float. So we went in the water and we went floating, and there was also mud on the ground. And so the water and the mud contain special minerals. So you basically, it's a tradition. You give yourself your whole body, you do a mud mask, and then afterwards you wash it off. And it was my boyfriend's first time there, and he sort of thought maybe there's like only a placebo effect, that people think, oh, I'm going to the Dead Sea, oh, it's going to be nice on my skin. But it really does leave your skin just like nothing else. Like you cannot buy there's no moisturizing creams or anything in the shops that leave your skin the same way as just going for a swim in the Dead Sea and doing a mud mask. It's incredible how soft your skin is afterwards.
Okay, Keith Teare, you have to wrap up now, mate. You have to head off, do you?
I do. I've got 3 young children who want to have their dinner, and it's 7:04 p.m.
All right, where can they get hold of you and stuff and that sort of stuff?
Twitter is actually I've got the same handle everywhere. K Teare, K-T-E-A-R-E. So it's at K Teare on Twitter, K Teare on Skype, and almost anywhere else you can think of.
All right.
I'm K Teare.
Good stuff, mate. Thanks for being on. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
No problem.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye, Keith. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
I was trying to say it real quick.
That's funny, Steve. Yeah, Hannah, continue.
Well, that was about it. I don't know if you have any questions about Israel or any other questions about anything else.
Steve,
No, I do.
Oh, go ahead, Jacob.
What I was going to ask earlier, what was that stuff that you were showing on Google Plus or earlier? That photo?
What was it? The bottle?
Yeah, the bottle that you was
right. Okay.
saying, the one that said like the people were saying it was like a pink liver on the front.
So in Japan, you go to the 7-Eleven and they have this little fridge full of all these different vitamin drinks that you can get. And so we were meeting up with our friend, and he's like, "Hey, wait, let's have a drink." And I was like, I'm not really good at drinking alcohol because I tend to catch a cold the next day, particularly in winter. And he said, right, we're going to the 7-Eleven, and he picked up this bottle, this vitamin drink with a picture of a liver on the front of it. And he said, you drink this before you drink alcohol, and then you have another one the next day, and you won't get sick. And so we did that, and I didn't get sick at all. It was amazing. Not even a headache or hangover, nothing. And so, yeah, I'm just trying to find out. I was asking people to help with the translation of what the ingredients are, because so far, like, there's a few places here that import food from Japan. but they don't stock this vitamin drink. So I'm just trying to find out what the ingredients are. It possibly has like liver extract in it or just something in it that supports liver function. But I was very impressed with, it was awesome that I got to drink alcohol and not be sick.
Do you drink alcohol, and would you drink that?
Well, I drink very rarely. I don't drink every winter. For the last 3 or 4 winters, I don't drink alcohol because I teach piano. So the kids come and they cough on my face and they sneeze on my face. Oh. So I get sick pretty easily in winter. So yeah, during winter I don't drink alcohol. During summer it's okay though.
I can't wait for winter. Jennifer, what do you think about this?
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. About the drink with the liver image on it, and if it's good for, I think it's great if people are into drinking alcohol and and to not get sick and to drink something like this beforehand. Then awesome. That's what it was.
Vitamin.
Yeah.
So, what about you, Diane? What do you think?
I drank. Been there, done that.
Okay.
Old school, man. Yeah, I drank plenty. But that liver thing, I don't know. I would try it if I was still drinking, but I'm not. So, yeah, I don't know. Sounds wild.
Yeah, it does. It does indeed. Steve, what about you?
No, I probably wouldn't try it, but if it's got a picture of liver on it. But I did live in Japan for 2 years, and it's kind of amazing some of the unique things that they got over there. I think they also got another one. I don't know if it's Japan per se, but it's got a little ball embedded in the cap, and you push it into the drink. So when you drink it, you
like
can't
a soda
drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't drink it all at once or something. I don't know what you want your customers to drink as much as they can, so they buy another one. So it's kind of like strange.
Interesting.
I think Michael Mozart had a couple of those.
Oh yeah, and hey, Gadget Girl, you just mentioned me on Facebook. Tell us about the what you got there.
Yeah. Well, there's 2 things I want to tell you guys about. First of all, Jennifer, I don't know if you got the same Chromebook. Did you get the Acer C720? Is that the one you got?
No, I got the Samsung one, and I'll tell you, mine was actually it's a demo one that I'm using for a month. So I'd love to hear about yours because you proactively purchased yours.
Yes, I did. Because first of all, it's $199 on Amazon, and here's a couple of quick notes. I love the battery life; it's killer. I mean, it just really lasts a long time. Very lightweight, solid state. So you can kind of bang it around a little bit. The downside is that I hate touchpads to begin with, and the touchpad's a little chintzy. I mean, it's really kind of on the cheapo. And especially on the left side of the touchpad, it feels like it's going down further. So use a mouse, no big deal. Other than that,
how many inches is the screen on the Acer? Is it
It's I think it's 11. I want to say 11, something like that. It's fine.
Is it slow or is it snappy or?
No,
the one thing
no.
Go ahead.
Yeah, this is super speedy. That's another. See, I hate Windows with a passion. Can't stand it. Haven't been on it for years. Yeah, I can't stand Windows. So my hard drive crashed on my iMac, so I had to get a new hard drive. In the interim, I was looking for something that I could work on, and there's no way I was going to get a Windows machine. So I did some research. I really like this Chromebook as a just as a working bit of business. It's nothing spectacular, but for $199, I think it's a really good deal. I really do. One little thing too, kind of a pisser, is the whole print situation. Like when you're out and about and you want to print stuff, you have to go to the cloud, and sometimes that can be kind of a hassle. Like it doesn't necessarily, jive up with a printer in the, in your direct vicinity, like a Mac does. It doesn't automatically do that. But other than that, I really like it. And then really quick, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, I was just going to say, this sounds great. The Acer one sounds great. The Samsung one, for the record, that I got, this brand new, slow. It's just, I'm not impressed with it. It's just so slow. So I'm glad that you love your Acer, because I do love the whole idea of the Chromebook. It's just so light and quick,
Absolutely.
and you know, so
Yeah, and to every single person who's told me, "Oh man, they're tracing you, and you're on Google." I'm like, "Yeah, and yeah, what am I doing? I don't care. Trace me all you want. I really don't care." I mean, I'm
Good for
talking
you.
about UFOs. Because I'm in Sedona. There's a lot of wacky things here. So we talk about all kinds of things. I don't care. You can trace me all you want. I really don't care. But what I want to tell you guys about is this app. It's called Stop, Breathe, and Think. And it was developed by Katie Lang. And the reason I like this so much is basically you're checking in. Like it's better than a friend. It's better than a real person, because this thing asks, emotionally, physically, how are you? Like, how are you really? And then it tracks that, and then it gives you a meditation that, applies to that, right? So you can track your emotional Yeah, it's like, like I said, who needs therapy? You just check into this thing. It's free. It's not bad.
Wow. Okay, Hannah needs to go. Hang on for a sec, guys. Hannah, just want to mention where they can get hold of you.
I am everywhere and I am nowhere.
You're everywhere, and
if you want, Google me. My name is Hannah Silver, but there's no H on the end of Hannah. And I'm on YouTube under the name Astrobic, but you'll find it as well if you look for Hannah Silver.
That's on Twitter too.
And I'm on Twitter, I'm on Google+, I'm on Facebook. It's boring. I'm on all of those things, okay?
At the same time.
Twitter is not boring. It's fun. I love it.
Yeah, no, Twitter's cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Listing all the social networks is boring.
What do you like better out of all of them, Hannah?
I like Google+ the best.
Oh, really? I like Facebook better. Okay, that's it. Thanks for being on, Hannah.
Thank you for having me on the show, and good to chat to you all.
Indeed.
And goodbye, listeners.
Yes. Thank you, Hannah.
All right, see you guys.
Thank you. Enjoy your food, by the way. Yeah, enjoy your breakfast.
Thanks.
Okay, Gadget Girl, go back to you. What else you want to say about this app?
And there's just one other app, another brain app I want to tell you. It's called Soak Your Head. So soakyourhead.com is where you can get it. And the difference between this and a lot of the other brain apps is that what this does is it forces you to go back. Like, for example, there's a series of numbers, and then you have to go back and kind of, I don't know, you have to try it to see what I'm talking about. Okay. But it's much better, and there's actual scientific research that has shown that this thing does, ping the parts of your brain that matter. So it's not like a lame-o thing like Crush or something where, you know what I mean? You're actually doing something. You're really working some of your synapses in your brain. So it's kind of cool.
Are they on the iPhone or?
Yeah. And it's all free still.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I just installed the Stop, Breathe, and Think one.
Breathe and Think. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
You're going to like it. You are really going to like that. Yeah, totally. I like that.
Yeah. Good suggestion.
So you guys, I got to go. But I will stay in touch, and I thank you so much for being on. I always enjoy, talking to you guys.
No problem.
Hey,
don't go ahead, Jennifer. Yep.
No, I was just gonna. You were gonna ask the same thing. Where can we find you at? Because I'd love to connect with you. I have a Get Nerdy with It, and I want to do an all-girl panel coming up, and I would love to have you on as a guest. I'm putting you on the spot, but
yes. Well, there's so much for me to share because I started in 1996. And so a Gadget, GRRL, and if you go to that.com or Twitter or and stuff like that, there's a lot of other wannabes out there that I found you. Yeah, that's a whole long story. Yeah, I'm on Facebook, and Brad's always on there.
Yeah, I can hook you up, Jennifer, with her Facebook.
Awesome. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Gadget, for being.
Nice to meet you. Okay, see ya.
Come back anytime, mate.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Bye. Okay, Steve, final thoughts of the show, and what do you want to say? Anything else you want to mention before you go?
Yeah, I was out. Maybe ask Jennifer if there's a chance I can get on that all-girl panel. But besides all that,
you'd have to do an accent. You'd have to do a female voice, like use Jacob's little sound changer device or something. And
I'm just kidding. No, I'm fine. You can find me.
How are you today?
You can find me at Twitter and Chatterbox_live.
Okay, what's your final thoughts of the show, mate?
Oh, it was awesome. as always.
Every show. I can give him on Twitter, Brad Alden Tech Webcast. Jennifer, what about you?
I thought the show was fantastic. Always love talking with Keith Teare, and I was talking with Hannah and hearing about her travels. And this is the first time I met Gadget Girl, so she was great. And of course, Steve, you're wonderful as always, and Jacob, you're so awesome, and Brad, you too. Of course, without you, it wouldn't be coming all together. So great show as always, and you can find me at jenniferruggiero.com or jruggiero on Twitter. And also check out getnerdywithit.com as well.
Cool. And when is that episode going to be? When's that episode?
So I'll get the next episode up tomorrow morning, actually. I need to finish editing it. We had audio issues. Skype decided to drop off twice in the middle of this past episode, and I just got frustrated. And so I still have to piece it together and get it up. And we were talking with Dr. Michael Kabay, Mish Kabay is his name. He's very, very intelligent techie guy. So it's definitely a great show for nerds to tune into. So we'll get that up soon.
Good stuff. And also, when is that other episode? Is it going to be out? Well, the one with the all-girl one.
Oh, the all-girl one. So I've already talked with Jody, and then I would like to get Gadget Girl on as well. And then there's someone else I know named Trisha that I'd like to get her on. So I'm going to aim for next week, and I'm pulling this together.
Maybe you should get Lisa on too. Lisa Teare, her name is.
Oh, Lisa, definitely. Lisa Padilla. Yeah, I'll reach out to Lisa too. Yeah.
And that's a good show. Jacob, what about you? Jacob, what's your final view on this show?
I always love being on the show because I like hearing everybody's points to the news stories and stuff like that. It helps me get better grasp on how to run a proper podcast.
And also, do you want to mention Zarfo, Jacob?
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
Zarfo is actually doing a lot better this time. They got a rebuilt app.
You're not supposed to say that. Not supposed to say that.
I could probably edit that out.
No, that's good. He wouldn't care. It's all good. No, there is a new app coming, so don't worry about it. There's a new app coming.
Oh, it's coming. It hasn't been released yet.
Well, it's in beta at the moment. Me and Jacob are testing. I'm sure, Jennifer, you may get an invite too to test it out too. And looks good. Looks good. All new design, new developer. Looks good.
Oh, cool. Good. I can't wait.
Andrew will be on next week, and we may ask him about it.
I hope so.
Yep. So do I. I hope so too. Who else going to ask? Is that it?
That's it.
That's it.
Hey, you forgot to ask what my address and stuff was.
Oh yeah, address. What's your home address, mate? Joke.
No.
Phone number.
Jazzbot 32669-1Z.
Okay, good stuff. And that's it. Steve, thanks for being on, mate. Thanks, Jennifer and Jacob.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, Glenn from Aussie Tech Heads. Join Will, Eric and myself as we bring you the latest, most up-to-date important tech news that affects you from Australia and the world. Weekly podcast available each Friday through iTunes. Watch the live stream recording of the show at live.thesecrethub.com each Thursday night 7:30pm or GMT plus 10. Call in live via Skype or chat in our lounge. However you get us, just make sure you do. Listen or visit our website for more information, www.aussietechheads.com.au. Aussie Tech Heads, Australia's longest running tech news podcast.
Well, that's it for Tech Webcast this week. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed having your mind expanded. Tune in next week for more tech talk with Brad, Jason, and whatever crazy guest they've managed to rope in. Don't forget to get the Tech Webcast app from iTunes. Follow us on Twitter at Techwebcast, and of course check us out on Facebook too. Until next time, may the tech be with you. Peace.